This is a video for how to create number 16 in your 20 ISOs project for Autodesk Inventor. So the first thing we want to do is we're going to create this bottom plate that we see down here on the bottom of the object. So what we want to do is kind of ignore what we see up here for now, and we are going to create the bottom plate. So the width for this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. The height is 1. And the depth is going to be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You can see that it goes back 5. So we can count 1, 2, 3 to here. We got to see how far back this is, and that's 5. So our width again is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 by 1 by 5. So we're going to go ahead and go to Inventor. Let's make sure we're in our correct project file, and we are. And I'm going to go to New. And we're going to want to load up an English standard IPT, and we're going to say create. And then when this loads, give mine a second here. So once your work area loads from creating a part, we're going to go in and let's do the box method with our primitives, and I'm going to go to my XY plane, and I'm going to click on my origin, and we're going to hit 8 tab 1, enter, and then our depth was 5, and I'm going to say 5 for my depth and hit enter. Click on my house button, and automatically we have that bottom plate we're going to look at. So when I come back to here, you're going to notice that we're going to have 2 rounded off corners here, and those are fillets. So kind of like ones we've done before, you're going to notice that these center points don't perfectly line up on any lines. They're kind of in the middle. So we're going to say these are going to be 1.5 radiuses from the side in 1.5. So we're going to go back to Inventor, and we're going to click on our fillet command, and we're going to put in 1.5. And my fillet edges that I'm going to round off are the ones that will disappear. So that edge is going to disappear, and this edge is going to disappear. If you look back at our object, we're taking off those corners. You click on the corners that are going to disappear, and we're going to say OK. And now we've rounded off those corners. Now we're going to go put in these holes that we see right here. These are features. Now these share the same center point as our fillets, so they are concentric. Concentric means to share the same center point. So we're going to go back to here. We're going to go to our hole command, and we are going to go down from linear and choose concentric. And it's going to ask us for a plane. What surface are you putting this hole on? This is the surface. What is your concentric reference? The concentric reference is this arc. What is the diameter of your hole? Well, let's go back and look. The diameter of the hole over here is a diameter of 1. We're going to go back to here, the diameter of 1. And I have another hole to put in. We want it to go all the way through. So instead of saying OK, we're going to say apply. And now we're back again. Plane. What surface? This surface. Concentric reference is going to be my arc. What's your diameter is 1. It goes all the way through. We only have 2 holes to create. So we're going to come back and we're going to say OK. And now we have it. Good deal. So we now have kind of this bottom plate part. So the next part that can get kind of tricky is going to be this this kind of vertical part we have going up here. So one of the things that's hard is trying to decide what the height actually is. So can we say that this comes down 2 and then rests here? So if we come down from the top, this is a diameter of 4. So down here, 1, 2. If I were to follow this over and follow it back, it seems like from here I'd come down 2, and this is where the bottom of this would hit. So I don't know if you can see where my hand is here. I go down 2. I'm going to walk this over here and come back. Then I'm going to go down 2 again since the diameter is 4. So that'll be 4 to here, and we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from there. So that's 5 plus 4. I'm going to do that again. 1, 2, 3, 4 total. This is the radius of it over here. I follow this over here, so I go down 2. So that's 4 total, and I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from there. So we have 5 tall, and we're going to ignore these curves, these kind of little skateboard ramps, totally ignore them straight up to here. So from here, from this line right here, 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to have 4 by 2 and bring it up 9. So let's go back and let's click on our pencil and let's click on this object. And I want to show you how to do these. We're going to do this a little bit of a different way because we want this rectangle that we're going to draw that's going to be 4 by 2. We want it to be perfectly lined up here by the center. So we're going to come up here to rectangle. And here's choose 2-point rectangle, and I want you just to click right here. We're going to draw for ourselves a rectangle. And as we drag it out, I'm going to put in 4, and I'm going to hit Tab, and I'm going to hit 2, and I'm going to hit Enter. And you're automatically going to have this rectangle right here that we just drew right here in the middle. We're going to use geometric constraints to place this perfectly by center points. So up here at the top, you have your geometric constraint toolbar, and we want to place a coincident constraint. A coincident constraint forces 2 points to touch, and we're going to be able to line this up perfectly by using the coincident constraint. We're going to click on the coincident constraint, and we're going to find the midpoint, which is the green dot right here. And then we have our midpoint right here of this whole thing with this little yellow dot, and I'm going to click, and we automatically have that lined up now. Automatically lined up. We're going to go to Finish Sketch. Go to Extrude. Put in 9 for your total extrusion distance and hit Enter. Click on your house, and we now built that excuse me, vertical member. So let's go back. So now we have this up vertically. We now want to use the fillet command to round off this radius. So the radius up here, if I can count over 1, 2, our radius is going to be 2 up here at the top. So we're going to go back, and we're going to go fillet, and we're going to put in our radius, which is 2, and I'm going to hit 2. Now, when I look at my object here, remember, you're clicking on the corners that are going to go away. That corner will go away, and that corner will go away. And I want to say OK. And that is a subtractive fillet. So we also got to use an additive fillet here, where this is going to add mass. So down here, what's my radius going to be? From this vertical line here, I come over 1, 2. This additive mass and this additive fillet is going to have a radius of 2. So we're going to go back to fillet, and we have 2. I'm going to click on this line, use my view cube and flip around, click on that line, say OK. Now look at what we have. We've kind of started to create this object. Now there's multiple ways we could go about creating this other little small cylinder that comes off of this a distance of 2. Notice this goes back 4. We've already gone 1, 2 in from the back. Now we got to come in this way. So I like using primitives a lot. You know, you could click on your pencil and click on the face and draw a circle and extrude it out. I'm going to come up here to cylinder in my primitives, and I'm going to click on the front face here. And automatically it's going to ask me for a center point. My center point is going to be right here in the center of this object. Now notice I haven't clicked yet. I just came out here and dragged my mouse over the top of that arc, and it automatically gave me the center point. I'm going to click and drag out. You should see the number 2 automatically. It should snap. I'm going to click, and when it turns, it's going to give you that cylinder popping out. Now our distance out from the side was going to be 2. So we're going to go in and hit the number 2 and hit Enter. And we now have this kind of little nose or whatever you would call it coming out of this thing, or this like mouth or beak or something, whatever you would call it. So let's go back here. What we're going to do now is we're going to put this hole in the middle. Now the hole has a diameter of 2, and it is concentric to the outside circle. So here's what we do next. We're going to go up to hole. Instead of linear, we're going to say concentric. We're going to click on the front face. Plane just means what face. If I gave you a drill, what face are you drilling this in at? This is my face, concentric reference. There's my concentric reference. And there's 1, I put in 2, through all, say OK. You now have your object right here. This right here is your number 16 part for your 20 ISOs in Autodesk Inventor. One thing you'll notice, you do have this kind of little ledge right here. We could have gone back with our extrusion of this object. We could edit the sketch and just try to make sure that this perfectly lines up over here. Try to make sure this is completely tangent. I think since I snapped, it's going to tell me that's going to over-constrain the sketch. It didn't. So one thing you can do is if you come over here and you edit the sketch out of that extrusion, and you come to the tangent geometric constraint, I can click on my circle and click on the line, and it'll tell me it already exists because I've already done it. Now when I go back to finish sketch, it's going to perfectly line this up tangent with this. I was hoping that this little arc right here would go away. Not a big deal that it's there, but what I'm trying to do is make sure it looks exactly like our isometric sketch. In this case, we're going to have a little bit of a groove right here, and that's fine because we filled it off. So this has been how to create number 16 for your 20 ISOs Inventor project.